Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of BSing Sports, the fantasy football show. Ryan could not be with Tim this evening, so I'm jumping in just as a guest. This will be entirely Timmy's show. I'm doing the intro simply because I have a better radio voice, as the guys tell me. So thanks for joining us here on BSing Sports, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports, a part of the BSing network. Tim, it's your show, buddy.
All right, so today my game plan was to go through each game and break down the fantasy relevant players. Like, let's say, for instance, the first game is the Jags and Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets. So we're going to talk about how, if you're doing research on this game, the research shows that you should sit Trevor Lawrence over Mike White and Zach Wilson because the Jets have a better defense than the Jags. So, but I'm never going to sit Trevor Lawrence if I have him in a league anywhere. Bill, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, as you pointed out, listen, the Jets have a really good defense. They're an extremely efficient defense, and not to mention they've got Sauce Gardner back there, at the defensive back position, just absolutely being a ball hawk, defensive pass breakups and everything like that. But there isn't a quarterback on the Jets roster that I'm benching for Trevor Lawrence. And that's just how I feel about it. Trevor Lawrence is quarterback number 6 in PPR leagues this year. He's averaging 19.26 points per game in PPR leagues. Ryan said this yesterday on our show, the recap show, is that last year you have and we've been saying it all year. Last year with Urban Meyer, you got to kind of sort of chalk that up as not a real season, right? Because it was just a complete fiasco.
Ryan said, starting T-Law with confidence,
and that's the truth. And that's the truth. There isn't. Listen, he's quarterback 6. That means he's better than 28 other starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Is my math good on that? 4 and 2? Yes. No, it's wrong. 26 other starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Hey, look, math is hard, right? So yeah, there's a very few quarterbacks that I'm starting over Trevor Lawrence, especially in the playoffs with these implications moving on the way they are. Not to mention Mike White is out.
Yeah, true. Let's go to the running back position for each team. So you got Zonovan Knight.
Yeah.
For and Michael Carter for the New York Jets, and Travis Etienne for the Jaguars.
Zonovan.
Zonovan. I'm sorry, I was reading the thing. Making fun of your math problem, but but Zonovan Knight, when Michael Carter was hurt, was doing really well, and then last week he hurt his foot, but he's not on the injury report this week, apparently.
He is listed as questionable for Thursday night's game against the Jaguars after being deemed full participant. He's going. He's playing.
Exactly. So I'm hesitant about starting him because Michael Carter looked really well last week again, like he did last year at the end of the year. Travis Etienne, you can't not start him. Either he's the four-horse bell cow for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He get the passing attempts, the rushing attempts. So my question is, Bill, are you confidently starting Zonovan Knight or Michael Carter in the semifinal playoff match?
I find it really rare that somebody would have both of those players on their team. Now, I would be curious to know who your other running backs are in that situation. However, when Zonovan Knight has had an opportunity, he's averaging 13 points a game. Now, he didn't get a lot of opportunities, obviously, earlier in the season because Breece Hall is everything that makes that offense good. But he's shown flashes of being efficient. And then Michael Carter, as you pointed out, he's got fresh legs this time of year because he hasn't been the workhorse. And he also shows flashes of some superiority. The Jags don't stop the run very well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the rankings are. I can probably find it somewhere on here, but they don't stop the run very well. And as a result, I think I would be confident in starting either Michael Carter or Zonovan Knight. Now, if you're asking me if I should be starting them over ETN, absolutely not. But in terms of the big picture, yeah, I'd be confident this week starting either Zonovan Knight or Michael Carter. And like I'm not talking like explosive game. I'm talking if you need they're in your final flex spot and you need 10, 12 points, I think they can get it for you.
Okay. So are you going to start Zonovan Knight or Michael Carter over Tyler Algier? who's playing the Baltimore Ravens.
That Ravens defense is real tough, and Algier has only shown 1.5 good games this year. I think I'm taking the Knight Carter duo.
Okay. All right, I like that. You helped me out in one league. I appreciate that.
Is that the
We're
league
going
you're
on to our
playing me
next
in?
game.
Is that the league you're playing me in?
No, I'm not playing you in any league.
Oh, okay.
You're not in the playoffs in this league. So we're going to go
Ah.
to the Bills.
You're not in the playoffs.
I mean, I'm not in playoffs with the two leagues you're in. So
I made the playoffs in 4 of 7 fantasy leagues. That's better than 500. I'm taking it.
I made the playoffs out of 4 out of 7 too.
There you go.
So
You heard it here, folks. We know what we're doing.
we both got knocked out of the ESPN Keeper League.
That league's. I'm glad he's going to sleeper next year.
Is he?
Yeah, he put it in a group chat that you left.
That I left. No, I'm not in it.
Yeah, it's a WhatsApp. You were in it. Trust me. There was a distinct conversation after the draft, and you left. Think about it. You remember.
I don't.
Let's worry about it later.
Yeah. So we got the Buffalo Bills and Chicago Bears. Fantasy relevant players. We got Josh Allen. No matter what, you're going to start.
Number 3 overall quarterback in PPR leagues.
Stephon Diggs is number 3 wide receiver overall in PPR fantasy leagues.
Here's a good question for you, right? Singletary has been very sneakily the 22nd best fantasy football running back.
Sorry, real quick.
Yeah, I can't see the comments.
We won't talk about my record. Top 3 in points for in 2 leagues, no playoffs.
It's because defense wins championships, Ryan. No. That is unfortunate. And listen, that the one league we're in with the ESPN league, the commissioner does a good job. We have a roto payout, so the team at the end of the season that has the most overall points in the league gets the same amount of money as the individual who wins the league as the payout. And I actually like that because in that league, I'm knocked out of the playoffs, but I'm pretty close to top in roto.
I didn't know that, so nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so my question here to you is, depending on what the rest of your roster looks like, you've got Devin Singletary averaging, where's it at? Averaging, I just had it, 12.24 points a game. It's a pretty solid average for a running back. Yeah. Are you starting? Give me the name of one surprise running back you'd start him over in fantasy.
Surprise running back?
Yeah, I mean
that I would start over him.
No, that you'd start him over.
Leonard Fournette.
Actually, that's the exact name I had too, so I'm glad we're on the same page. There's a lot of reasons for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Leonard Fournette is still running back 14 on the year, if I'm not mistaken. I can look that up real quick. I have him in the league, so give me a second.
Fournette is running back. Come on, open the screen. 19. Fournette is running back 19. So technically, he's above. I'm sorry. Correction. In PPR leagues, he's running back 13.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But right now, we're seeing Vazir Wright getting most of the carries. Tom Brady's liking him in the passing game lately. But yeah, I think I might be starting. It also depends on the matchup. If Leonard Fournette got a better matchup than Devin Singletary, what's he doing? Because the Bears' defense is abysmal. So it's bottom 5 in the league, I think. So I think I might be like, if I desperately need starting running back to play, I'm taking Devin Singletary, I think. Give me another name that you think.
So I actually like Fournette was the name I had in mind. Here's another question for you, fantasy, and why. First of all, if you're going to play anybody on the Bears, I guess it would be Justin Fields, but I'd really be hesitant to do that as well. James Cook.
Justin Fields is fantasy quarterback 5 on the year.
Okay. Because of his rushing ability.
Yes.
James Cook. Because of how bad the Bears' run defense is, do you think James Cook is a viable starter?
No.
Attaboy.
I do not. Listen, I had to start James Cook week 14 in that keeper league, Dave's league. I had to start him because I had no one else going. And he let me down tremendously after scoring 20 points in the week before. Yeah, okay. The Bills are going to keep using him. With Josh Allen at quarterback, he really don't like checking it down. He liked the deep balls, slant routes to Dave Davis.
Even McKenzie, they're using a lot more now.
Cole
Isaiah McKenzie.
Beasley.
Oh
Cole
yeah,
Beasley playing with
Beasley's
them.
back now too. Yeah.
We got a comment. Chris
Genova.
Genova. Hey, what's up going on, guys? What's up, Chris?
Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button right there in the YouTube page. We really appreciate it. And if you have questions going into your playoff matchups, please throw them in the comments. Timmy will bring them up and we'll discuss them.
He just scored back in Seattle take on Trevor Lawrence. I like it. So, question for you, Bill.
Yes.
Bills. The Bears corners isn't terrible. They've been playing better as of late, other than AJ Brown last week. Are you starting Gabe Davis confidently at like a wide receiver 2 flex option? Now, keep in mind the weather is pretty bad in Chicago.
Yeah, but it didn't really affect Josh Allen last week, did it?
True. No, it didn't.
Listen, in PPR leagues, Gabe Davis, wide receiver number 32. That technically puts him in wide receiver 2.5 realm, somewhere in the late 2nd, early 3rd round wide receiver. I'm playing him. Yeah, let's see. His lowest game of the year was 5 or 2.5 points against Baltimore, but he hasn't gone below 5 in any other game, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touchdowns on the year. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I would be starting depending on who else I have on my. This is so difficult because I don't have a roster in front of me, obviously. But depending on who else I have available, the Bears' defense isn't phenomenal. They just gave up 300 or 289 yards to 2 receivers to the Eagles, and the Bills are built the same way. So I'm starting Gabe Davis. Yes.
We got a comment from Chris. He said, "Wondering if you guys would start Lawrence over Minshew. Got hurts out. Absolutely. If you go back and read my comment up here, I'll pull it up for you real quick. Starting T-Law with confidence. Quarterback 6 on the year, man. I would not have a problem starting T-Law over 5 other quarterbacks. Only 5. Let me rephrase that. 5 other quarterbacks would start over T-Law, and that's it.
Yeah, for the time. Yeah, I would agree with that. There are zero. Listen, if you're really desperate and you're out of a quarterback and you got like a 2 quarterback league or a quarterback in a super flex league and you want to start Gardner Minshew, I'm going to tell you that I think he plays well on Saturday. But should you be starting him over T-Law? No.
All right. So going back to Gabe Davis. So would you rather start Gabe? Would you rather start Gabe Davis or Juju Smith-Schuster?
So I don't. It's not that I don't like Juju, right? Because he's starting to build some camaraderie with Patrick Mahomes. But if you're putting me on the spot right now, based on matchups alone, I'm going Gabe Davis. I just saw what the Eagles defense, again, very similar setup. Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. I'm gonna say I would rather start Gabe Davis over Juju. That's my opinion. But based on matchups, I would go with Gabe Davis.
Okay. Ryan Swift commented, "Is Gardner Minshew a solid superflex option?"
It depends on what the rest of your roster looks like. Like I said, I'm not saying go get Gardner Minshew and start him above other people that deserve to be in your superflex option spot. But if you're desperate, like I said, if you're desperate and you really think that he's your best option, then yes, I would say confidently play him in that scenario.
To be honest, I think I'm starting Minshew over Kenny Pickett.
Who the Steelers got this week? The Raiders?
Steelers,
Raiders, yeah.
I don't trust Kenny Pickett yet.
which is fine. And we've seen, given the opportunity to start and spot starts, Ryan said this yesterday, he's like 69% completion percentage, averaging
Mm.
230 yards and 2 touchdowns a game. He's got ability. Gardner Minshew is not a bad quarterback. The Jaguars drafted Trevor Lawrence. They traded him to the Eagles. We have Jalen Hurts. Like, he's not a bad quarterback.
All right, so Minshew or Andy Dalton?
Damn. I'm going Minshew.
So am I. Minshew got more running upside in my
Exactly.
opinion.
And that's the only edge that I give him in that competition is he's going to run for a few yards. And you never know. He might run for a short touchdown and that gives him the edge in my opinion. So yeah, I would stand tall with Gardner Minshew.
Minshew or Zach Wilson?
Minshew, hands down.
Okay.
I am out on Zach Wilson, 100% out on Zach Wilson. I won't have him in any league starting in the new year. Absolutely not.
Okay. Let me see. I got one more. I gotta find it. Minshew or Geno Smith?
So Geno started really, really good.
Mhm.
And now he's become kind of a shell of what he was in the beginning of the year. He's got a tough matchup, and the Chiefs could turn into a shootout. I'm going Geno.
I like it. Like it. All right, next game.
Speaking of Dalton,
So you got the New Orleans Saints and the Cleveland Browns. Noticeable injury right now. Nick Chubb had not practiced all week with a foot injury. Myles Garrett is also out. Didn't practice today with another injury. I don't know what it was though.
I think it's still his lingering hamstring injury.
Okay. So my question is, are you starting? Vine said proceeding to check all of Bill's team to find Zach Wilson off from a third round pick.
Do it. I'll accept immediately. Let's go. I have him in one league. I don't remember which one.
So my question is, so you got Alvin Kamara, Andy Dalton, Chris Olave for the Saints, Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Deshaun Watson.
Maybe Kareem Hunt sort of in that conversation a little bit,
Yep.
especially depending on what Nick Chubb is doing.
Oh, I did not know that, Ryan. Thank you. Ryan said Olave hasn't practiced all week either, hammy. That's something I did not know. Thanks for that, Ryan. I appreciate that. Are you starting any Saints confidently against the Browns, Bill?
I mean, how do you not start Alvin Kamara, right?
He hasn't been good this week. I think
I'm aware of that. I am very much aware of that. He's sitting at running back 16 in PPR leagues.
That's not terrible.
No, I mean, it's kind of exploded because he had two really good games. He had a good game against Seattle where he went 23 for 103 plus 6 for 91 and a pair of touchdowns. And then he had the monster game he had against Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Where, he 18 for 62 with a touchdown, but also 9 for 96 and 2 touchdowns. So his number, he's a little bit exploded because of those two games specifically. However, I'm still relying on Alvin Kamara, especially if I'm in this, not only as a fantasy player, but the Saints. If I'm the Saints, you said it, and I gave you a shout out last night. I don't know if you were watching. The Saints win-loss percentage when Kamara touches the ball more than 50 or more than 17 times is like 5-0 this season.
Mm-hmm.
And what are they? 5-8.
I think so, something like that.
Yeah, so their proof is in the pudding. Hopefully the coaching staff realizes it, and Kamara gets a ton of balls. Dalton, again, if you're super, super desperate, if Olave plays, I probably try and start Olave. But it just depends on what the rest of my roster looks like, right?
Yeah, everything depends on what your roster looks like. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, so you got on the other side of the ball, you got Deshaun Watson. Are you starting him in the Superflex league?
He's still kicking the rust off, depending on where I'm sitting.
All right, so I'll give you an option. So,
yeah, give me some other players that are on my roster available to be played, and I'll tell you if I'm choosing Deshaun Watson over them.
Kirk Cousins?
No, I'm starting Cousins.
Okay.
Cousins has a tough Giants defense this week, and I'm still starting Cousins.
Geno Smith?
Again, that's going to be a shootout.
I'm taking Watson on that.
I think I'm taking Geno, if I'm being honest. Listen, and maybe part of me is subconsciously like holding the whole 27, 2,900 sexual assault allegations against him a little bit, which, hey, look, I might be. But I'm also here to tell you that if he was the best quarterback on the docket, back on the docket right now, I would still be playing him. But I firmly believe that Geno Smith is in a shootout with Patrick Mahomes because that defense of the Chiefs has not shown up lately.
You're right. Look at what the Texans did last week.
Exactly my point. So I think Geno's going to be in a shootout, and I'm taking Geno.
All right. So what about Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant?
So right now he's questionable. Actually, I think he still plays. I'm probably going to Sean on that one.
Okay, I like it. I like it. All right, so you got.
Let me check that for a second. 49ers have a tough Commanders. Yeah, no, I think I'd probably go Watson on that one.
Okay, so you got Amari Cooper and Donald for Peoples-Jones. Deshaun Watson been favoring Donald for Peoples-Jones more than Amari Cooper, which it's 1,000% surprising to me. So if you're Amari Cooper owner, should you be worried?
Not for next season.
Okay.
I said it already. Deshaun Watson's kicking off dust, and he's going to continue to go to the guy who's catching the football. And I'm not saying Amari Cooper's had a ton of drops because he really hasn't. But because Watson is still very new, like I know he's had the playbook for 9 months, but he's very new to this offense. You're talking he's played 2 games. And right now he's got something that's working for Donovan Peoples-Jones. I think he's going to continue to feed that. That doesn't mean that next year, especially with an entire offseason together, that he doesn't immediately realize that Amari Cooper is the better of the 2 wide receivers and start targeting him a ton. It just means that right here, right now, I think that he's got something good with Donovan Peoples-Jones. It's exactly like I'm riding the hot hand for a running back conversation. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So Watson, I think, is just favoring Peoples-Jones for that.
Are you playing Cooper if you have him?
If I had, let's say hypothetically, right, I've got Amari Cooper,
let's go
Stephon Diggs,
Mike Evans. Let's go Mike Evans.
Here, I can actually help you because I do have Amari Cooper in 1 league.
I got him in 3 leagues.
Okay, so give me 1 second, and I will help you right here, right now. So my wide receivers in this league are as follows. I've got Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper, and then I've got Drake London, Devontae Parker, Robbie Anderson, and Scrubs.
Then yes, I'm starting.
I'm starting Amari Cooper, right? That makes sense to me because Amari Cooper is definitely the best wide receiver available left to me other than Stephon Diggs to start the game. It makes sense to me. Now, if last week Drake London had shown some real promise with Desmond Ridder, look, I agree, 7 of 13 completions to one guy is ecstatic for me. I want to see it again before I go starting you over guys that, you know, should be putting up the production that they should be putting up. So in that league, yes, I'm starting Amari Cooper.
So in my 1 league where I got Amari Cooper in, 1 second. Z Money said, "What's up?" Then he said, I got some questions. I'm starting to panic. I'm down by 11 points.
Let's do this.
What's your questions, man? Let me hear them. But while he messages us, so I got Stephon Diggs, Amon St. Brown, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, Demarcus Robinson. They're all starting right now. So I can move DeAndre Hopkins into one of my flex, into the wide receiver spot, move Amari to my flex spot. Should I change out Amari Cooper for, let's say, Tyler Algier?
The upside with Algier is so much higher than Cooper's. But if you're looking for a consistent 10 points, Cooper's going to get it. He's going to get it.
All right, that's all I needed to know.
Ooh, but listen though, Algier, the upside, we saw it last week, right? Like the upside for Algier is absolutely phenomenal. But the Falcons do have a really tough Ravens defense, so you know.
Yeah, you're right. Texans, Titans. I'm guessing only 2 players off of both teams that's been fantasy relevant is Derrick Henry and
Pierce is injured. Yeah, Pierce is injured, so he's out. Ryan, yeah.
Over Algier for me. All right, Ryan, I appreciate that.
Z Money said, go ahead, Tim.
Z Money said Ayuk absolutely sold. me with 3 points. Should I replace him with my options are Chris Olave, Christian Watson. Um, and then how are you feeling about Njoku? He's questionable. Oh man. Ayuk is still probably it's Debo didn't practice yet, right?
No, he's out for the next couple games.
I'm still still on Ayuk, man. Yeah, Ayuk had a tough matchup with the Seattle last week. Seattle ranked like I think top 15 with corners against wide receivers, so he had a tough matchup with them. They're playing the 49ers, they're playing the Commanders, and the Commanders don't have that good of a cornerback situation. So I'm still selling Ayuk in my opinion. But what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's unfortunate that he put up three and a half points last week. It really is. However, he averages 11.1 points a game, which means statistically that's not going to happen every week. Yes, the upside with Christian Watson and the upside with Chris Olave are phenomenally better, but it depends on what you're looking for here. You're looking for consistent, or are you looking for like that hopeful, explosive situation to try and get you in the next round? So for me, Ayuk probably gets the start, especially since Debo's out. You're talking he's had the entire week to practice as the wide receiver one with that offense, especially with Debo out. I'm going Brandon Ayuk.
All right, then Tim Hawkins. Let's go back to Z-Money real quick. He said, how you feeling about Njoku? He's questionable. He had questionable last week. He's going to stay questionable all year long now with that hamstring injury or ankle injury. I forgot what one he had.
Yeah, he was limited at practice
He's going to play.
Tuesday and today. Yeah, he's playing.
Yeah, he's a good option for Deshaun Watson, in my opinion. Big target in the end zone, which he's gonna favor, in my opinion. So I would definitely be okay with starting Njoku if I had him. Tim Hawkins said Ayuk or Donovan People Jones. He fixed his spelling. Ayuk for me.
I'm actually going the other way on this one. Donovan Peoples-Jones, for everything I just said in that Watson conversation, is he's going with the hot hand and he's feeding Donovan Peoples-Jones. Let's see, his first week back against Cincinnati, first week back, it was 3 receptions on 3 attempts, 44 yards, and he had a touchdown. Cincinnati, 12 targets, 8 receptions, 114 yards, no touchdowns. And then against Baltimore, he was targeted 4 times again for only 31 yards. So but he gets a touchdown. So he's being targeted when it matters. And what I mean by that is red zone opportunities. And because of that, I'm sticking with DPJ.
Okay. Going back to the tight end of Texans. So you got Ryan said Ayuk over Donovan People-Jones. I break the tie. Appreciate that, Ryan. Going back to the Texans, you got Derrick Henry for the Titans, and I guess you could put Ryan Tannehill in at a super flex option, but I think
he even playing because they signed a quarterback off the Lions practice squad, and it looks like Malik Willis is getting the start.
Okay, and then Ryan also said Chris Moore, it's for the Texans, and he had been doing pretty well. He had been doing really well lately.
Give me a second. I got you, buddy.
With Brandon Cooks out and who's the other one? Nico Collins being out with foot injury.
I mean, you can. I'm not against Chris Moore. Again, late depth player. Yes, absolutely. You know, against Dallas, he puts up 22 points. Against Kansas City, he only puts up 8 points. So I'm not ignoring Chris Moore.
I don't think I'm starting him.
I'd have to be really, really thin at wide receiver to go Chris Moore.
Yeah, same. You're going to start Derrick Henry anyway, so.
Yeah. All right.
So Z-Money asks, would you all start Tony Pollard or Kenneth Walker? To be honest, I'm starting both if you're able to.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. Listen, the Eagles' run defense has been really, really good since the signing of Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. Not to mention, I think we get Robert Quinn back this week as well. So if push came to shove and the Cowboys were not playing the Eagles' really stout run defense, I would absolutely say Tony Pollard gets the start. But in the scenario we have, the Chiefs' defense isn't phenomenal against the run, and Kenny Walker is a good running back. I would go Walker over Pollard. However, I agree with Timmy. I don't really know what the other duos in your running back situation would be. I feel like Pollard. Who?
Joe Mixon.
Oh no, it's Mixon Walker for me.
Yeah, I agree with that, Bill. All right, you want to get to that? Pull up the next game, please.
Yeah, let's roll through these a little.
So you got Kenneth Walker, Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett is out. Okay, so you got Marquise Goodwin. Are you starting him?
Yes.
Okay.
Listen, he's had good games with Lockett on the field, and now Lockett's not on the field. Those targets are going to him. Yes.
So you got Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, MVS, Marquise
Valdez-Scantling, yeah.
Yeah, and then Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore. Are you starting MVS or Sky Moore?
No.
Okay. No,
Juju in deep leagues.
Yes, definitely Juju.
If you had an opportunity and you were lucky enough to pick up Pacheco or McKinnon, they both need to start.
Yes, I agree.
And I mean, obviously, if anybody is questioning whether you should be starting Patrick Mahomes over another quarterback, you shouldn't be playing fantasy football.
Yeah, I agree. All
right. And like I've already talked about, I would be starting Geno. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a shootout. Yeah, Kenneth Walker deserves the start. I think Goodwin deserves in deeper leagues, Goodwin deserves a start, but also DK deserves the start. Like I said, this is going to be a good game to watch, especially for fantasy implications.
Giants, Vikings. So you got Barkley.
Yes.
Slayton.
No.
And Daniel Jones.
If I'm super desperate.
Barkley, yes. Obviously.
Yes. Right? Yes. Barkley's a yes.
So you got Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
Alan Thielen.
No. Now,
KJ Osborne.
Actually, I would go Osborne over Thielen at this point. Thielen had to argue with the coaching staff and Kirk Cousins on the sideline at halftime in the Colts game to start getting targets, and he still only ended up with, I believe, 4.
I didn't know that.
And let's see, I can tell you right now, 4 targets, 3 receptions. So for me, it's KJ Osborne.
I like Osborne. I like the Osborne pick. He got that deep threat for them.
And his hands seem to be becoming more and more sure every week.
Yep. I noticed that last week too.
All right. Let's see if I can find him real quick. Osborne. I spelled it wrong. Yeah, there he is. Let's see. Well, maybe not. Targeted 16 times, only had 10 receptions for 157 yards and a touchdown. And I will openly admit that's only the second good game he's had this year. He's had man, it's just like Thielen is just like the odd man out there right now.
Yeah, if you have a deep enough bench for wide receiver, I'm not starting Osborne or Thielen.
I would agree with that. But I think KJ Osborne builds on what he did this past week against the Colts, and I think Kirk Cousins goes to him more often.
Okay, I like that take. I like it. So you got the Bengals and Patriots. So you got Joe Burrow, obviously you're going to start.
Yes.
Joe Mixon, you're going to start.
Yes.
Jamar Chase, you're going to start. Yes. T. Higgins, you have to start.
I would agree.
Tyler Boyd.
No. He's burned me in several leagues. He's one of those boom or bust guys. Like he's good to catch one pass for 70 yards and a touchdown, but he only gets targets 4 times.
What about
super deep, maybe, but outside of that, no. I'm sorry, Boyd is officially no longer getting starts for me.
What about Piron?
Pirine? Samaji Pirine?
Yeah.
Let me help myself with some information. Mixon's going.
Yeah. Joe Mixon took over that backfield again after last week, I think. So I'm not playing Piron either.
Pirine's out for me. You're talking Joe Mixon has 202 fantasy points total this season, and he's missed a couple of games. Like, come on, come on.
Going to the other side, so you got Mac Jones. Are you starting him in the Superflex?
So I actually have to start Mac Jones in one of my super flex leagues because Jalen Hurts is hurt.
Yes.
So if you're super desperate, yeah, I think
They're playing the Bengals.
Here's my thing with
secondary
Mac
is
Jones,
not
right?
good.
Here's my thing with Mac Jones is, and it's not entirely his fault, and I think Ryan might back me up on this one. I know you'll back me up on this one. They are the worst offensively coached football team
Oh,
in the
absolutely.
NFL right now. And that's usually what happens when you have a defensive coordinator running your offense.
Yep.
And as a result, Mac Jones doesn't look like the Mac Jones of last year, but because he does have that pedigree and it's weird for me to be like, oh, a guy is due for a good game. But I think Mac Jones and the Patriots offense make this game competitive enough to the point where I am starting Mac Jones in one league. Yes,
Ramondre Stevenson.
I think he absolutely needs to be started.
Yep, I agree.
None of their wide receivers, none of their tight ends.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking maybe Jacoby Miles at like deep flex spot. No, okay.
Not for me.
Jacoby Miles.
I don't mind him either, but until they have an offensive coordinator calling plays, those wide receivers are pardon my pig Latin here, uckfade. So opposite side of the ball, we already talked about the Bengals and Mixon, and so we're all good there.
Man, I know Ryan means about talking so much. So you got the Lions and the Panthers. So you got Jared Goff. Are you starting him? Superflex.
At this point, let's go to the tape. Right? Hang on a second. Let me get in here. I've been saying it for weeks.
Not good.
Huh?
Hey, the away games are not good. Only home games are good.
Quarterback number 12 on the year means he's a QB1 this season.
Yep.
Guess what? QB1s get started.
Can you look at his away games for me?
Let's see. He was at Minnesota where he went 62 completion percentage, 277 yards, a touchdown and a pick. And then he was at New England where he went, that was a bad game. Then he was at Dallas, another bad game. And then he was at New York, another bad game. And then he was at New York, a good game. And now he's at Carolina, and Carolina, their defense has been playing better, but are they the Jets defense? Absolutely not. And let's keep in mind those early season losses when they go on the road and he looks bad was before they got on this super hot streak. The Lions are a good football team right now, and Jared Goff is a huge part of that.
I'll give you that. So you're starting Goff.
I'm starting Goff.
DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams.
I don't know what they're doing with that backfield.
Me either. I'm so lost with that.
I think DeAndre Swift has won that backfield back, except for in vulture moments. For those of you unfamiliar with that, check out that show, The League. It's a few years old now. But vulture stats reminds me of the old Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams days for Carolina, which is funny that they're playing the Panthers, where Jonathan Stewart would do all the work, between the 20s, he'd get them down and get them in the end zone. And then because all the carries inside the 5 went to D'Angelo Williams, he was a viable starting running back in fantasy as well. And they call him the vulture on the show because he doesn't do a lot of work. He just gets touchdowns. Anyway. So again, if you're in a deep league, both running backs get the start. But if you're asking me which one I would start over the other, I think it's Swift.
I agree with that. I'm definitely starting Swift over Jamal right now. It seems like Swift getting the passing work out of the backfield other than Jamal isn't. Jamal getting that 5-yard line carries.
Yeah, and in PPR leagues, that goes so far.
Exactly. I'm going to say Brown, obviously, is on.
Yeah, I mean,
DJ Chark.
Deep leagues. Deep leagues, I would start DJ Chark.
What about Josh Reynolds?
I would prefer Chark.
Jameson Williams?
He hasn't shown me anything yet.
Okay. Going to the other side. So you got Sam Darnold, Superflex. No? I'm going to say it depends who my other quarterbacks are. Sam Darnold hasn't been playing bad this year.
Okay, so your other quarterbacks are hypothetically and I'm saying this because I have these quarterbacks in one league: Kenny Pickett, Mac Jones, and Tyler Huntley.
I'm starting Sam Darnold over Pickett and Huntley.
Okay. Look, I don't dislike that take, but I'm not that short in that same league. I have Josh Allen. Like,
Yeah, I'm starting back Jones over all three of them. So, but all right. So you got DJ Moore.
I would be remiss to say no, don't start him. So, in medium deep leagues, I would start DJ Moore.
Okay. Then you got Devontae Foreman, Chuba Hubbard.
Man, they both had great games, and then they both got stuffed. So I'm gonna say,
Steelers defense is ridiculously good.
I mean, obviously Foreman is the one there,
Mm-hmm.
so I would say start him.
Okay.
But that isn't to say Chuba Hubbard doesn't get his touches, because he does. So last week, Foreman got 13 touches and Hubbard got 11. So I mean, they're 1-1A in Carolina right now.
Yeah, I get that.
So again, super deep leagues, sure.
Okay. So Tyler Algier or Devontae Foreman.
Algier,
Okay. I like that.
because of the upside. Yeah. Speaking of Algier,
So you got we got a question real quick. He said, Anthony Vall said, "Hey guys, RIP JT. I have to choose between Juju and D Hop now. I'm still taking D Hop. He has a great matchup this week, even with Trey McSorley playing. I think he's the number one wide receiver on the team. He's going to get the targets, in my opinion. But I don't hate Juju either. That's my problem against another shootout with going to be between the Seahawks and the Chiefs. But I think I'm starting D Hop over Juju.
his name's
So-
DeAndre Hopkins. I'm starting him. And we can make all the arguments for Trace McSorley being the third string quarterback there. But it seems like no matter where he's at in his career, DeAndre Hopkins, that is, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is, he finds ways to be effective, and I don't think that changes.
Hey, Anthony, thanks for the question. If you haven't followed us yet on
Subscribe.
subscribe on YouTube yet, please do. Any viewers out there haven't subscribed, please do, please.
Yeah, seriously, for those of you watching on YouTube, we appreciate every single follow. This is a good time to tell you that this is something Ryan usually does halfway through the show. If you have not done the subscribe button thing, please make sure you hit that, and then follow us on all of our other social media sources. They're right down here at the bottom on the banner that's going across the screen. Sorry, Tim, again.
Anthony Wall said, "Is he safer? I'm a 20-point favorite for the championship. 20-point favorite? Good for you, man. That team must be good."
That don't mean nothing. I was 20-point favored to beat Eddie and lost, so I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Yes. DeAndre Hopkins is a much safer play for me.
I would agree. D Hop is the safer play. Yes.
All right, so you got Desmond Ritter. Are you playing him? No. Okay. Tyler Algier, Cordell Patterson,
Deep leagues. Deep leagues.
Drake London, deep league.
Man, you'd have to be a really deep league. I just told you who
Okay.
my wide receivers were in that other league, and I started Amari Cooper over him.
Okay. Ravens. So you got Tyler Huntley,
No.
J.K. Dobbins. He is
Yes.
off the injury report, so yes.
Yes.
Mark Andrews, not the big one.
So Andrews came in with some really high expectations this season.
Tell me about it.
And he's dealt with the drop bug this season.
Tell me about it. I traded a lot to get him.
Oh, I know, because I was one of the trades that you made with him.
I traded him away in that league too.
Yeah, but I still think he's one of the best tight ends in football. So unless you've got Kittle, Kelsey, or Goddard, I'm thinking Andrews gets the start. I would probably put Schultz right now, right up there with him.
Nah, Schultz has been. I put
No? Okay.
Pat Freeman.
I missed that.
I put
He was injured for most of the season, right?
Schultz, yeah, he's not injured, but Dak hasn't been throwing to him lately.
Injury. 13 points, 16 points, injury, 17 points, injury, 15 points, and then 3 points. He had a bad game, and he's been injured. But I understand what you're saying. I do understand where you're coming from. I would definitely put Andrews above Schultz, but like I said, unless you've got Goddard, Kittle, or Kelsey, Andrews needs to be started.
Yes, I agree with that. That should be it on that time. Gus Edwards.
No, I wouldn't. No, Dobbins is asserted his dominance as the main running back in Baltimore.
All right, so you got the Commanders and 49ers. So you got Tyler Heineke.
And I got news for you. I'm not starting anybody against the 49ers defense.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
want
out.
to
Kenneth Walker messed me up in that league against Eddie because he was playing the Niners defense last week.
So
And I thought maybe Walker would be immune to it because I knew they were going to have to run the football, and he was not.
So you're not starting Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dodson. You're not starting any of them?
Maybe if, again, deep leagues, McLaurin and Dotson might have a shot.
Okay.
They're a little weaker in the passing game. The Niners defense is but it'd have to be another deep league, man. I'd really have to be looking at it like, well, who are my other wide receivers? Now you flip on the other side of the field there, and you got Brock Purdy. It doesn't appear that it even matters that he's the third string quarterback for that team. I'm starting Ayuk. I'm starting Kittle. Definitely starting Kittle.
Definitely starting on Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, and how do you not start Christian McCaffrey in any game against any team? So, yeah, that's how I look at this particular matchup. It does not favor the Commanders.
I agree. The 49ers defense is so good.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to this one.
So Jalen Hurts probably won't play.
For those of you holding out hope that because they haven't ruled him out, and you guys need to understand that Jalen Hurts is not playing against the Cowboys. He won't be a healthy scratch, but this type of injury, it could linger, and it's better to just let him rest.
Yeah.
And I've already said it. Gardner Minshew, again, 69% completion percentage, averaging 232, 2 touchdowns a game in his spot starts for the Eagles.
I think Minshew would be fine, but I'm not starting him in any leagues.
Deep leagues. If I was able to pick up Minshew in one of my leagues, I'd be starting him.
So you got Sanders, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith.
Hey, listen, that Sanders guy is running back number 11 right now. Joey Aviles, I'm talking to you. And he only got 11 carries last week, 1 in the first half. They will not do that with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. They won't.
Okay.
They won't.
So you're saying Sanders is a must start?
Sanders is a must start for me this week, yes.
Okay. Anthony Ross has another question. Shoot, I have another Juju question. Pick 2 between Juju, Waddle, Najee Higgins, and Hollywood.
I'm going Higgins and Waddle hands down.
I absolutely agree with that. Then if you don't want to use either of them, I'll go Hollywood over Juju.
Oh, I don't know. Again, Trace McSorley. DeAndre Hopkins is one thing. Hollywood's another.
Oh, wait. So you got Hollywood and D-Hop? Then no, I'm not starting Hollywood. It's definitely going to be Waddle and Higgins.
Yeah, so now you're also talking, you've got Waddle, Higgins, and D-Hop as your starting wide receivers. You're looking fine.
Yeah, you're good. On the Cowboys side, so you got Dak, what you got to start, in my opinion. 2 different leagues, you said. 2 different leagues.
Let's go to the numbers. Dak Prescott is quarterback number 25 this season. He has thrown for more than 300 yards 0 times this season.
He's also been injured.
I'm very much aware of that. I'm not saying that he wasn't injured for a while, but he's been healthy for 8 weeks straight. And he does average 2 touchdowns a game, but he's also averaging just about 2 interceptions a game.
Yeah.
His running ability is no longer there since the leg injury.
I'm starting him over Minshew. Confidently, to be honest. Confidently. Even against the Eagles defense.
And that's what I'm taking into account, right? So both defenses are really good. If I could avoid starting both of these quarterbacks, I would avoid starting both of these quarterbacks. However, push comes to shove, I also would very small give the nudge to Dak Prescott over Gardner Minshew in this particular game.
Captain Joe King, loving the stream. Quick question: quarterback, Carr, Darton,
Goff.
or Goff?
Goff. I said it. Nobody at the beginning of the season would have said that. I'm saying it right now. You heard it here first, folks.
Who would Las
The
Vegas
Lions
play?
have the Panthers. Dak has the Eagles. Carr has the Steelers. I'm going Goff all day.
No, Las Vegas don't have the Panthers.
No, Vegas has the Steelers. Goff has the Panthers.
No, Golf don't have the Panthers.
Lions are versus the Panthers this week, Tim.
Are they really?
Yes, we did that game like 4 minutes ago.
I don't remember.
That's fine.
Yeah, give me Golf too.
You were going to go Dak. I know you were going to go Dak. And look, that's not a. He threw 2 interceptions this past week, still put up 22 points. I'm saying that Dak Prescott will still be effective. But if you're telling me who's going to get the more points this week, it's going to be Jared Goff. I said what I said. You heard it here first.
Nah,
It's
give
on
me
video.
Dak.
It's live. It's recorded. Everybody can make fun of me after the week is over if you want. But when
Yeah.
Jared Goff puts up more points,
Give me
I'll
Dak.
laugh at you.
Give me
Give
Dak.
you Dak?
Give me Dak.
All right. Captain Joe King, if you have not done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate every single subscriber.
So you got Tony Pollard, Zeke,
Start,
yes. CD Lamb.
and then the rest of the wide receivers, no.
I think Michael Gallup in like a deep league.
I mean, you're talking like deep.
I mean, my one league
James
I have-
Bradbury and Derry. Like, I'm sorry, CD. Yes, he's still gonna get 15 targets, but
I would rather start Michael Gallup than DeMarcus Robinson in one of my leagues, but I don't have Michael Gallup.
I mean, yeah, if those are your two options, I'd start Gallup.
Deep league, like I said.
That's fair. You asked me AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I don't see how you don't start them. Goddard, I think, needs to be started.
Start them, yeah.
And the same conversation goes for, and listen, you guys have heard me on this show repeatedly say how much I dislike Ezekiel Elliott. He needs to be a start.
He does. He gets all the goal line work.
Yeah.
And Tony Pollard is amazing out that backfield.
We still got 5 games.
So you got Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller. I am in this order starting in a Superflex league, Derek Carr, obviously Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, obviously. I'm sitting Darren Waller.
Yeah, Waller until he gets really healthy, like really, really healthy. I don't think he
Mhm.
gets a start for me. Adams is going to get a start. Carr, if your quarterbacks are not named Mahomes, Hurts is hurt, Allen, Herbert, Burrow, like those guys,
Mhm.
then you don't start Carr, but Carr gets the start too.
Yep.
Jacobs also deserves the start. On the flip side of the ball, I don't really trust Najee Harris right now until he shows me more. I'm kind of sort of out on him. However, if it's super deep, you can start Najee Harris. Deontay Johnson, again, if it's like super, super, super deep.
What about Big Pat Firemouth? I think tight end 10 on the year.
He is tight end number 6 in PPR leagues.
Hmm. He had 0 points last week.
He had
Well,
0
that's
targets
Trubisky.
last week. It looks like he didn't play last week.
No, he did. Mitch Trubisky did not target him at all.
He did not see a target last week with Mitch Trubisky under center. Yeah, he's out for me.
Kenny Pickett playing, right?
Yeah,
Give me Big Pat. I'm starting Big Pat.
I'm gonna pass on Big Pat. I think statistically, number 6 overall tight end is a little deceiving because guys like Waller and Ertz and Goddard have all been hurt. Schultz was hurt. Like I think that tight end number 6 is a little bit deceiving because of the injuries at that position around the league.
You know, last year he was tight end 7 at the end of the year. I think maybe tight end 10. He was still a tight end 1 last year as a rookie.
144 total points last year. Finished 13th best tight end.
Ooh, I was wrong. I thought he was my fault. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's what we have this stuff for. Technology is amazing. But yeah, so like I said, I'm staying away from them. Pickett, if it's in a deep league, you can start Pickett, but I wouldn't confidently start Pickett. If you're asking me Carr or Pickett, it's definitely Carr.
Ryan agrees. Firemouth with much start. Thank you, Ryan.
I'm going to disagree.
And then Anthony Ross said Firemouth almost effed me last week, but it's a 2-week playoff league, so I have a chance to come back. Firemouth a must start for me, man.
It's not for me. That's fine. Everybody gets their own opinion.
So you got the Packers. So you got Tua. You starting?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay. I know you're not a big fan of Tua.
Oh, I'm not. But I mean, where's he sitting right now?
I think
Even with the injury, and he's sitting at quarterback number 13 on the season, so he's not quite QB1. And he struggled the last few games, except he still put up 15 points and then 19 points.
So you
Tua
still
gets the start.
Kill.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle.
Waddle. Yeah. Yep.
Mostert, yes.
What about Jeff Wilson if he plays?
I thought Wilson was on IR.
He had not. He's questionable with a hip injury.
He is questionable with a hip injury. Limited practice. He's close to playing in week 15.
That was last week.
Oh, he was close to playing week 15. So he plays. I give Wilson the start over Mostert, assuming he plays the whole game.
I like that. I think I would too. I think Jeff Wilson earned that spot a couple weeks ago over
Agreed. Raheem Mostert, yeah.
Yeah. On the flip side, so you got Aaron Rodgers. Are you starting him in the Superflex League?
Rodgers has been a huge disappointment. Superflex League, yeah, I give him the start. But you're talking he's quarterback 17 and he's played every game this year.
Yeah. So you got Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon is already cleared.
Yeah, I think they both get the start for me.
Okay. Christian Watson, Alan Lazard.
Watson, yes. The others, no.
Okay, I like that. We already did the Dolphins. Anthony Ross said,
sorry, bring that back up.
Can't play Sig without a quarterback who throws it. Cole Kemo.
Is claimed. He's saying you can't play Chicago without a quarterback who throws it. Cole Kmet is claimed. I've got Muth, or I can claim Fant or Bellinger. Bellinger has been playing really well. He seems to be Daniel Jones' safety net for the Giants. And with a pretty tough matchup in the Vikings, I expect Bellinger to get some targets. Timmy and Ryan totally say that Muth needs to be a starter, Freiermuth needs to be a starter, and I will side with them on that if your other option is Bellinger. However, if you're looking for an additional tight end ad, I would go get Bellinger over Kmet, especially over Fant.
Yeah, I agree with that. Muth gotta be a must start, but I don't hate Bellinger because, like you said, all those facts about Daniel Jones being his safety target. Yeah. So you got the Broncos and Rams. So Broncos, Russell Wilson questionable play. I don't think he does. I think he's going to be sitting the rest of the year trying to save his health. I think Carlos Hyde probably won't play because of the hammy. Latavius Murray, you starting him?
Russell Wilson is not listed on the injury report.
Oh, I was wrong.
So Russell Wilson will play. Latavius Murray and Marlon Mack. Murray gets the start hands down. However, in super deep leagues, I would not be surprised to see people starting Marlon Mack.
I'm starting Mack.
Cortland, I'm not starting Mack. I'm saying I would not be surprised to see other people start Marlon Mack. Sutton was limited at practice.
Maybe he plays, but
it doesn't look like he's playing. They gave very little information. Usually means they're not playing. Yes, I mean, you got Russell Wilson, you got Latavius Murray. Those guys can start. Super deep leagues, Dulcich, the tight end Dulcich can get the nod. On the flip side, Akers.
He super deep, 12 points.
Super deep leagues, maybe Higbee. I can't fathom starting Baker Mayfield. I just can't.
Not even a super flex?
super desperate super flex.
Okay. I don't hate it.
I don't love it.
I think I'm starting Baker over Garner Minshew.
I would not. I would absolutely, hands down, no questions asked, start Gardner Minshew over Baker Mayfield this week.
Okay. The matchup, maybe. Then you got the Buccaneers, the Cardinals. So Tom Brady, Rasheem
Tom
White.
Brady.
You gotta start him. White, Fournette.
Fournette over White, but I would try and avoid them both.
Okay. And then you got
Evans,
Mike
yes.
Evans.
Yes. Godwin, yes.
Then
Gage, no.
And Alton, I think his name is, for the tight end.
No.
Okay. Then on the flip side, you got Trey McSorley now. D-Hop.
D-Hop, yes. Connor, yes. And then the rest of the lineup, no.
I think if you don't have D-Hop in the lineup already, Hollywood Brown at the start.
I would say you could go Hollywood in deep leagues, yes. Also, those of you out there doing 10 people leagues, show me your lineups because I know that they look nice.
Yeah. Chargers Colts. This is Monday night, isn't it?
This is this is the last game on the docket. Chargers Colts.
So you got Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler.
Those are all
Mike
yeses.
Williams.
Mike Williams is a yes.
They're all starters, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Even Jared Everett is the starter for me.
I would say he's also a starter for me. You got obviously you said Austin Eckler already, but now Jackson is starting to look like a viable starting running back.
Is Eckler playing? I know he was on the injury report.
Let's see.
He's not on the injury report. Never mind.
He is not.
Yep.
I also have the wrong last name.
So Kelly won't get many carries. He's the backup for Eckler when he needs a break. But he did look good. I give you that. He definitely did look good.
Kelly, yeah. I don't know why I thought his name was different. But yeah, he does the most with his touches. For the most part, he had a really bad game against Tennessee where he only got 2.4 yards a carry, but he did get a touchdown. But usually he's averaging 4.6 yards per carry, 4.15 yards per carry this season. So he's doing the most with his touches. So in super, super deep leagues, listen, I don't think they're going to use Eckler that much in this game because if the Colts are not competitive, and look, BDN is playing, and I get it. I get BDN is playing. I just don't think the Colts. You got it, did you? I don't think the Colts are going to be able to keep up with the Chargers in this game. So I think we see a lot more Kelly. So I would say in deep leagues, Kelly gets a start here for me. He really does.
All right. On the flip side, so you got Nick Foles.
I would try to avoid him. Yeah, I would try to avoid him.
Deion Jackson, Zach Moss. I'm not playing either. Nah.
Maybe Moss.
No, I think Deion Jackson.
Okay, then no. See, we can't even agree who's the starting running back there is.
And then Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce. I'm starting Pittman no matter what.
I would say Pittman definitely needs to get the start. Here's the thing about Nick Foles, right? Is we know as Eagles fans, he likes to throw the football. He would rather be throwing the football than handing the football off. Those wide receivers are probably going to get some work. I think Pittman gets a start, but I would be really wary of any of the other wide receivers in that offense.
Anthony Volstead tagged you guys.
In my 10-man half PPR league that I worked hard as F on, I lost JT, and that's still my lineup on Twitter. Okay, we will get to that right after the show here. Actually, no. You know what? You tag us on Twitter. Hold up. I kind of want to check it now. Let's see. Let's do this real quick. All right, so he's got Joe Burrow, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Gerald Everett, DeAndre Hopkins, the Buccaneers defense, and Brett Maher. Did you hear that lineup? Burrow, McCaffrey, Cook, Brown, Hill, St. Brown, Everett, and Hopkins.
And he had just JT.
Yeah, that's right. He just lost JT. So I think we need to start a 10-man league just to see the numbers. No. I'm kidding. 12-man is where it's at.
Yeah, definitely.
But listen, that lineup, Anthony, if you don't win the
Good for you,
championship, you're going to have
man.
to let us know because wow. That is a good lineup. Tim, you got anything else for me?
No, sir. Um, don't play your Thursday starters and your flex positions, guys. Take them out of your flex positions.
It's great advice from the best fantasy show on television. Well, laptops, phones, stuff like that. So Tim doesn't really do it like Ryan does, but I think we're going to the Bill pen here. And thanks for joining us here on BSing Sports, part of the BSing Network, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports. Have a good night.